good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever this video finds you, I hope you're having a rad time. I'm the Figure Dude, and on today's action figure showcase, I'm going to take a look at all of my custom Steiners. Without further ado, let's talk about some figures. Dude. Alright, I'm back, and like I said, I'm going to talk about all of these Steiner customs I have today. And obviously, we don't have any official Mattel Steiner figures yet, but it was announced on the live stream they did. Their, Ringside Fest they kind of did. I don't know, I wouldn't call it Ringside Fest, that's what they called it, but it was literally just 3 YouTube videos chopped up. Which was better than nothing, but anyway, on there they announced that we are getting Steiner Brothers. They're in production, and there are so many attires, so many looks, eras of the Steiner Brothers that I want, and hopefully they stay on that Legends contract for a while. I'd like to think they'll stay on good terms since Bron Breakker is currently in WWE, and they're taking pretty good care of him in NXT. So hopefully they're around for a while and we get all kinds of Steiner figures because they're so iconic. There's so many looks. WCW, sorry, I'm just trying to think of everything and it's almost overwhelming because there's so much. Like, when I think of Scott Steiner, I think of his blonde hair, his late WCW look, and WWE obviously, but even before that, there's so many cool looks, so many cool attires. Like, they wore so many colorful singlets, and you'll see, I have a few customs, but I don't even begin to scratch the surface of all the stuff that they wore. So I'm really, really excited about those. Hopefully we get some really cool figures. But I'll just start off here. So here are my throwback, golden era / new generation, more like new generation, I guess, era Steiner Brothers. So you did see these on Work in Progress Wednesday. Definitely the Scott Steiner. The Rick Steiner, I don't remember if I ended up sharing that one on the video or not, but it is based off one of the old Hasbro figures. So, one thing that they always did, that the Steiners always had mismatched boots. So that's why this one is like this. He's got just one red boot, one red and white boot, which isn't completely accurate. It's a little different. But I didn't need anything specific for my Rick Steiner. I have gotten significantly better at painting skin tones since I did this Rick. So I will revisit the torso. It's not bad, but I will repaint it. So there's an old Hasbro figure that looks like that. His attire looks like that, and ooh, the torso on screen looks even on camera looks even worse than in person. So I will definitely be revisiting that and giving it a facelift. But for now, especially, but I made these before I knew we were getting Steiners, so I had no issue with these. I'm really happy with how they look aesthetically. I just need to touch up that torso a little bit. The Scott Steiner head, I think I've talked, this is from Headgemmicks. Used some decals from Curbstomp. The Rick Steiner head is the Jakks Classic Superstars figure. And then I used a torso from the Kama figure. Yeah, from Kama. Which I like that torso a lot. I wish they would use it for, at least that size. We'll need, thicker straps for some guys, but the torso singlets, the singlet molds that we have are not very diverse. So, everyone that wears a singlet is either, the small Jack Swagger one that doesn't have much definition, which I don't even think that works well for Jack Swagger. And then, we've got the Ryback torsos. So this is one of the updated Ryback torsos that's more square all the way down instead of narrow. And then we have the normal one that they've used for like Ultimate Warrior, the like plain ripped one. So I wish we would get some updated torsos for singlets, but it is what it is. For these, they work really well. I'm interested to see what they end up doing with the Steiners once we do get official releases, though. So there's my tag team, Scott and Rick. Let's move these guys back here. And then I did have the jacket on him. This is also from a Classic Superstars, his Classic Superstars figure, which is in the like pink letter attire, which I would love if we got that. I think those would look really sweet. Okay, next up here, let's just go ahead. We got another Rick Steiner. So this one, I don't even remember. I think I did this on Work in Progress Wednesday. Oh, you know what? I did, but I got my updated scan. So when I did that, I had a scan that was just kind of his tag team scan still. He had the headgear and everything. So this one is updated. So it's got the short hair. It's got the headband. It's got Bite Me. There we go. He has Goldberg gloves, so there's not a lot of gloves that I have at least that have the like Goldberg mold, the Undertaker mold in that correct skin tone. So he does have Goldberg hands. I tried to kind of base it off. It was the promo pictures I found were just a little bit different depending on where I look. So this was the look I ended up going with, and it works perfectly fine for me. The legs I think are a little skinny, so I am going to try and find some thicker legs. He's a little tall, I think, too. I think he's shorter than Scott by just like an inch or two. So I did want to make him shorter, but as far as my collection goes, I think it fits in well. For this one, I used the Anvil torso, which I just like. I think the Anvil should have the Kama torso. Like, look how big the difference is in those. I just think that Kama torso fits some of those guys way better. And then like the bigger torsos, so like the Anvil torso, the like plain like thick torso. I'm trying to think like. Nikolai Volkov has the like thicker torso, and like they're big, but like they look bigger or like more portly, but at the same time they're not size-wise much bigger than like the normal like Daniel Bryan torsos. Like circumference-wise, I don't think they're that much different. So it just kind of I don't know. I don't have a lot of issues, but I think that they could use some retooling on torsos just to fit people a little better scale-wise. But those are the only two Rick Steiners I have. You see, they're vastly different. And like his body changed because he was pretty jacked up when he started, and can't hold on to that forever unless you're Scott Steiner. Then you're just a genetic freak. Yeah. So I do have one more Rick I'm working on from when he was in the Varsity Club. So I'm going to use this, I think I'm going to use that same Ryback torso I used for Scott, but it's like the long curly hair that Rick had, so it'll be another one that's completely different from these, and hopefully we just get like all these eras represented in Mattel official form. Next up are my Scott Steiners. So I actually got this from one of the friends I've made and talked to quite a bit on Instagram for the channel. I think his Instagram is Home Invasion Show. I think that's correct. But we had talked about Buff Bagwell because he had watched my Buff Bagwell video. We were talking about formulas, and he actually used a different formula for his buff. I used just like some Bobby Roode legs with kick pads and like a Triple H torso, where he used the bigger torso. He used the Connor figure that has the red tights. So I thought about doing the same, and then I was just kind of looking around at pieces and decided I was going to do that with my Scott Steiners instead. So I did make two. I've got the black one, so this is more his WCW time. He's got the black biker shorts, Let's zoom in here. That didn't work very well. Okay, so you can see here, he's got the S, the Steiner S, says Big Papa Pump on the back, the other S here, and then the 6'9" logo. I don't know what any of those are for. Yeah, 1 second. Let's hit this light. There we go. Sorry about that. That looks way better. That's much better. Shoot. Anyway, so here's WCW Steiner. I used the... whose torso? It wasn't Lesnar. Oh, Warlord. I used a Warlord torso. The arms are from... I don't even know. Asina, maybe? And then I acetoned off the tape. I'm not positive. But then the legs are the Warlord crotch piece, the Warlord upper thighs, and then the lower thighs, I don't remember who they came from. I don't have a lot of those. They might have still just been the other Warlord thighs or some Lesnar thighs. And then the calves are from a Goldberg figure. So I didn't have to paint, really, because I could just use stock pieces, which I always like, because the lines are cleaner. It just looks more factory. It looks a little better. But then I put decals on, obviously. So there's my WCW Scott, and I mean, there's just so many looks that I want to get from Mattel. So then here I wanted to do the same. So here is my Scott Steiner with the Victor. Figure. So different skin tone doesn't bother me. Same head, same Jack's head. But then I do prefer him in his long black tights, but I thought I'd change it up since I did the black for the WCW one. So same on here, decals on the side, the Freakzilla decal. Apparently that is just not gonna happen. Okay, well that's... Thanks, camera. I'm still trying to perfect this. Well, anyway, it says Freakzilla on the side. It has the 6'9" right here. I don't know if that has any relevance besides Scott Steiner just putting 69 on his pants. I gotta acetone that shamrock off. That's from Connor. But obviously, at this point in WWE, his run was pretty forgettable. But I think it's a cool figure. It's different. I would be shocked if we didn't get a long pants Scott Steiner in our collection once Mattel gets going. I hope we just have a full year of just non-stop Scott Steiner releases. That would be ideal. I think they both wore that like pink number attire when they fought the Head Shrinkers at WrestleMania 9. I think those would be really cool. WCW, they had a bunch of really cool attires. Their singlets are just so unique. But then I also hope we get Bron Breakker. I don't know why we haven't gotten... We got the basic, which was okay. But I really thought we would get an Elite announced, and we haven't yet. As big as Braun is for NXT, and honestly just NXT in general, I feel like for a while we were getting a lot of NXT guys, and like main roster wise, they had to shake up NXT a lot, so the names that have come in are not the huge talents that they were, so maybe that's why we're not seeing NXT talent as much. But I feel like the NXT pool has really just fallen to the wayside. We don't have very many NXT superstars in the Elite or even basic line. Like Carmelo Hayes doesn't have a figure. I guess we did get Santos Escobar when he was still down there. We got him. We got a couple, a basic. We got Cameron Grimes as the ringside exclusive, but like I'd like the Creed brothers. Diamond Mine would be cool. I really, really want a Carmelo Hayes Elite, but then like Bron Breakker, I'm surprised we haven't gotten yet, or like I'm surprised he didn't get the chase for his basic because he's also got a lot of cool singlets. But I don't want to wait forever, so the last Steiner in my video is my Elite Bron Breakker. So I just went with the black Breakker attire, which is the same as his basic, but I thought it looked cool. I wanted to do that. And I wasn't sure if we were going to get another, if they were going to announce an Elite or not. Because I made this before the Hogan show, the Hogan Beach Shop show, and then I also made this before the Ringside Fest, obviously. So I was pretty convinced we were going to get another Braun, and maybe we will with the Steiners coming. Maybe we can get like a 3-pack with them and some flashy singlets, but Bron Breakker wears some really cool singlets. This one is probably one of his more boring ones. It just says Breakker on the middle. We've got the boot design on the inside, just the Bulldogs, but nothing crazy to it. Still, I like having him next to the rest of the Steiners. But that is all of my current Steiners in my collection. I would like to make more, but I also think I'm going to hold off because we are getting official releases, and they're supposed to be coming, I think they said they're coming in 2023. I could be wrong about, I swear that's what they said. But yeah, I can handle some patience with that, and if worse comes to worse, they release some stuff that looks the same as mine, and I do some repainting. Not a big deal. That is going to wrap things up for today's showcase, though. If there's other stuff you want to see, let me know in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe. I always appreciate it. And remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy figures. Figure Dude, out.